Hi, everyone. I'm Elaine Beck, and we are at CPAC now. We're at CPAC's studio for CPAC now, and we are so blessed today because we have Mercedes Schlapp and Matt Schlapp. So, isn't that unique and wonderful? We're so excited today. Last night, we did something wonderful, or they did. CPAC did, and it was all born out of their trip to Mexico. And so we're gonna talk about today a subject that is very sad, very heart-wrenching, but one that we've needed for a long time to confront. And these two wonderful people who are helping people around the world right now are absolutely serving this country in so many ways. And now they're serving it in helping the young people and old alike that are being sex trafficked. What a subject. So Matt and Mercy, please share with them how this all came about. And because like I said, it happened when you went to Mexico last year, right?
You want to go ahead?
You want me to start?
Yes.
So basically, as you all know, we go all over the globe to all these continents and have all these events, and Elaine has come with us on several of these trips. And Mercy said to me, you know, as we go talk politics and talk policy, we should really see what's going on with the people and the culture, and we should do a service project. And we did that in Israel, and we went to this wonderful immigration center for Ethiopian Jews who were going to become Israeli citizens, and our kids were there with us. It was really lovely.
And they're persecuted in Ethiopia
yeah,
for
so
their
like,
faith.
that's
so then
right,
they
exactly.
take them on.
And then so we've gone to all these amazing places, and when we went to Mexico, Eduardo Verástegui, who's our partner at CPAC Mexico, he said, hey, you know, I really want to take you to this orphanage. And I had said, look, I really want to go to the shrine of Our Lady of Guadalupe, and we had an amazing trip there, but he really wanted to take us to these other places. And one of the things, Sarah Carter was with us, she's like, there's this wonderful woman, and she runs these shelters for these kids who are rescued from trafficking, from sex trafficking. And I'll be honest with you, Elaine, I was very naive. I was like, okay, kids in trouble, you know, this is a worldwide problem. This will be interesting. I'll learn. Wow. I don't realize what an impact it would be. Rosie is the wonderful woman who took us to her homes.
So we were blindfolded to go into the area, to the home. The home was owned by a drug cartel, a former drug cartel, and they bought it, actually, which is kind of interesting. But they obviously, for the sake of the children, to protect the children, you know, they don't, even when visitors go in, they're very cautious. And we walk in, and there's about a group of 15 to 20 girls, ages 9 to 18, who, you know, were either in abusive situations or, again, just victims of human trafficking. And they help these girls with education and just the emotional and psychological support, all rooted in the faith. And you know, there was not a dry eye in that room. And then we went to go visit a school. It's almost like an academy run by these incredible Catholic sisters who they take about 3,000 girls from across Mexico, from impoverished areas, and do the same thing. It's grounded in centered in the faith, and then they help educate them and teach them how they can survive in the world. And we were so moved by this experience, and really being able to talk and meet with the girls and with the boys. We went to a home, and you talk about that wonderful.
Yeah, so I'm going to say to Colton, we want to run some of these videos that we have. I have them on my phone. You know, these 3,000 to 4,000 Mexican girls, many of whom they take them from the families, because the men in the families, sometimes the women in the families, are doing terrible things with these kids. And so the nuns visit them and say, let us take your daughter, and they take them. And they raise them, and they speak French, and they speak Italian, and they
learn an instrument.
These young women that were sitting in front of us in their uniforms, and they know their Bible, and they know their church hymns, and you know, it was a beautiful and moving thing to think that 3,000 girls could have been subject of like this movie that we showed last night. Instead, they have a chance because people are intervening at a young age.
But Matt and Mercy, let's get back to the harsh things they went through first.
Yeah.
You know, we got to talk and help you all understand that sex trafficking is the most inhumane way to treat any individual. These young children, and that's what they are, oftentimes, they're just young kids, little kids, sometimes as young as 3, 4, and 5,
Right.
are stolen, taken away, and they can be raped 10, 20 times a day. They can be, they're put in rooms that are no more than a closet with other girls and no way out, and they have no control over their lives. They are pushed around, shoved around, totally abused in every way. It's the worst form of slavery I've ever heard of. And yet, you know, look at the wonderment of how people can change. And I will share that, you know, if you've ever had, and most of us had some history when we were young of something terrible happening to us, you know, that we're like, I don't know if I can ever get over this. And these wonderful people step in and show them that they are the face of Jesus.
Yeah.
And that they are loved, and that they are valuable, and that they will help them find the freedom to go forth in life and how to love again in the right way. And I just think that is so amazing and so beautiful. But the story of the sex trafficking is horrific. And so you've started a center.
Yes. Yes.
To turn this around, to face the enemy. And that's what we all need to do. Am I right?
Yes, you should tell the story, because we always talk about the front porch. You know, the front porch,
right,
at our house.
Yes.
And we have our morning coffee. So Matt, I'll let you tell the story, because I think I drive you crazy on the front porch.
No, it's wonderful. We came back from Mexico, and Mercy's like, we should really do something about human trafficking. Like CPAC has, we have these connections around the globe, and we're meeting all these people, and we can do a lot of things with those connections. We can leverage them for a lot of outcomes, and Mercy was like, we ought to leverage it to try to raise awareness of what's happening to these kids, but also let's start getting to the solution part. And you know, when I talk about Rosie in Mexico, she's got a solution. She's buying homes, and she's putting these kids in these homes. They're not opulent. You know, they have bad plumbing. There was a roof leak in one. She needs money, and we can help be a resource for that, and also to change these laws. So I, you know, as Elaine knows, I'm immediately going to okay, if we do a center, how does that work with our other centers? How do we staff it? How do we not just, I feel like sometimes the conservative community or the political community, we all talk about this stuff we're going to do, but a lot of it's filled with, you know what, caca, as we'd say. And it's not truthful, because they really don't intend to make a difference. And we're always like keeping each other accountable, like, how will we make a difference? And so I think it was Steve Bannon who asked me on War Room. He was like, well, how are you going to make a difference? I was like, well, I know I'll have to make a difference, because every morning, by the time I get my first cup of coffee, Mercy's going to be saying to me, have we done this? What have we done to do that? And
I have a feeling Elaine is just like me in that sense.
Yes, so I have a high bar to meet every morning.
But what has been amazing, and it's really truly from the Holy Spirit and from God. I tell Matt, I like wake up in the morning and I just feel the Holy Spirit, and I'm like, Matt, we got to do this.
Right.
Matt, we got to move in this direction.
That's the way you got to be.
And it's really just so humbling. But what I love about the center is called Center for Combating Human Trafficking.
There you go.
I went to our top policy people. So it's Jim O'Connell, who's our VP, who is truly amazing and has all these incredible political connections. Thomas Bradbury, who runs our policy shop. And then Frank Russo, who is an expert in human trafficking.
Right.
And I was literally like, we've got the team. Let's build this. And we sat down, and they put together basically the plan, and it is going to be focused on really pushing forward with policies, with laws in these states, you know, starting with the states, looking at the national level as well. Where are the states that are so weak in pushing back and trying to stop human trafficking?
And that brings up the subject of what we're going to do in November. We're going to have a CPAC in Arizona. It'll be in Phoenix, Arizona. We are so excited about it, because what state better to start bringing this out and letting people understand about the sex trafficking than in a state that deals with it every day, because we live on the border.
Yeah.
We're surrounded by sex trafficking, drugs coming in, the cartels, the evil, the people that own the ranches and live on the border being attacked, their families, everything every day. This is where the sex trafficking is just so huge to our entire state. So to have a CPAC in Arizona, which will also be a great place for y'all to come and to fight back about the voting.
Yes.
And how we were cheated out in the last election, the last two elections, and how we need to be more powerful and stand together as a red state should. And we're not giving that up. We're going to fight for that red state, are we not? And then to be powerfully bring in someone like Eduardo, and I never can say his last name right, Verostegui, who is a wonderful man who's very much a part of the center.
Yes.
And very much a part of CPAC and Mexico. And it's just wonderful. It's all coming together, but isn't that what God does?
Yes, and I really encourage everyone to go watch Sound of Freedom. That's the movie that Eduardo Verostegui produced. And Angel Studios is obviously a very big part of this movie. They've been able to, this is a movie that they tried to, they worked on for over 5 years. They were trying to get it distributed. They couldn't make it happen. Eventually, many of these movie theaters started saying, yes, okay, we're going to allow for the movie to be showed. And so, it will change your life. I find that movie, and Jim Caviezel was with us at the event, as was Eduardo Verostegui. Neil Harmon, who is the CEO of Angel Studios, was also with us. So we've had this incredible group of people, just such talent, that really put this movie that brings, it really makes you understand that this slavery is happening. That
That's right.
Young innocent children are being sold off, are being stolen, where parents, have lost their children to the sex trafficking world. And the U.S. is the top destination of sex trafficking. And what has been done to stop this? And this is where you have the failure of the Biden administration, where they have not made this a priority, shine a light on this issue. And we believe that this obviously transcends political parties. This goes beyond just Republicans. And we need to come together as a nation, because if we do not protect our children first, then why are we here?
Exactly.
What are we supposed to be doing?
Right. And the thing is, you hit the nail on the head. What better way for us to learn how to come together than through the children? Our children are being hit by this current administration in every direction, with all of the LGBTQ and the transgender and the in schools and all of these things being thrown and shoved down their throats. And now to realize that, the last figures that I heard, and don't quote me on this, I think it was around 78,000 children are missing that have come across the border. Where are they, people? And you can't even imagine the numbers of young people that are sex trafficked right out of their own home via the internet.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So these are all big things, but maybe that's what God's going to use to bring our country back together.
Yes.
Because aren't we all wanting to save our children? Really? I can't even imagine.
And they're God's children.
They
It's
are
exactly
God's
what they
children.
said in the movie. They're God's children, and we have to save them.
They're truly
That is
a
our
gift from God.
responsibility.
Truly a gift from God.
So on the center, I think the key thing is that we have a premier ratings system which has been around for a really long time, like 50 years, almost as long as CPAC. And we rate every member of Congress, every senator, and every one of your state legislators, every state senator, every state representative. So we already have a really important tool, and we grade on every topic area. And one of those topic areas we're really going to focus in on are what are the laws in these states and nationwide to protect these kids.
That's right.
And it's American kids and it's kids from around the world. And yes, America, as I said at the premiere last night, America seems to be, not surprising to a lot of us, right in the middle of the tip of the spear of the problem.
Yes.
But this is a problem everywhere.
It is.
And, if you believe that you can destroy a child in the womb at any time, they talked last night about how in California they're going to pass a law that says 27 days after a child is born, you can kill it, which is just murder. By the way, it's murder in utero, outside. But when that starts to be accepted in your society, of course a child is something that an adult can do anything they want with, right? You can see where this crazy leap, this disgusting and evil leap is just on a progression of, if you don't respect God's creation, the barbarisms that will happen are no end. And so we all have an obligation to do everything we can to go back and remind people these kids are a gift from God and they need to be respected and we need to protect them.
Right. Well, so we're going to conclude this session with this. If you have ever felt that a longing to do something important, if you've ever been touched anyway by losing a child or someone that you know and love have gone through that, you know the horror for the parents, but you can't even begin to imagine the torture for these children. So you need to watch this movie. It's a hard movie to watch, but you need to watch it. You need to go before the Lord when you're done and ask him, what part do I play in this? How do I help? Can I send money? Can I pray about this and then maybe reach out to my neighbors and friends in church to encourage them to understand it better also? There are so many things that need to be done. So thank you for being here today. Thank you for allowing us to share all this with you. And we will be praying for all of you, and just reach out to us anytime at CPAC Now and let us know your feelings and your prayers, because we're praying for you every day. And we will see you next time on CPAC Now. It's not about us. Love y'all.